All right, what's going on, you guys? Now, I love this fight. Lomachenko against Linares. Love this fight. Uh, I think this is Lomachenko's greatest challenge since Gary Russell Jr. And I say Gary Russell Jr. because we didn't know how good Lomachenko. We had some doubts about him after he lost the Salido fight. Okay, um, in my opinion, uh, after the Gary Russell Jr. fight, kind of knew that Lomachenko was going to beat the rest of these guys. You know, after that fight. Because after the Salido fight, I was like, I don't know. Is it too early? Are we moving too fast with this guy? I know Salido has some dirty tactics and everything, but he did clearly win the fight. I know that he was overweight, came in weighing as a welterweight. It was brilliant plan for Salido, and it worked because of the ref and everything. Not going to go into all of that. But after that fight, I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's a little too early for this kid. Maybe he shouldn't have stepped up that fast fighting a guy like Salido in his second professional fight. Then he fought Gary Russell Jr. Uh, didn't really know what to think at that point because Gary Russell Jr. was fighting tomato cans. And he looks very good, and he still is a good fighter. But at that time, I really didn't know. I didn't know, really didn't know where to go with in that fight. But after he beat Gary Russell Jr. and looked impressive doing it, the rest of his fights kind of knew he was going to win every fight, there was Nicholas Walters, who was dangerous, punching power. I think Nicholas Walters was undefeated at that time. I think he had a draw with Sosa, but I think he was still undefeated. Okay, then you had Mariaga, who was a tough fighter. Sosa was a tough fighter. Um, you had Rigo, which I thought was a mismatch, but a lot of people thought that Rigondeaux was going to win that fight. Uh, and now you got this fight, and I think it's a great fight because he's going up in weight. He's fighting the best fighter at that division. If you're not including Mikey Garcia, because Mikey Garcia is bouncing around between 140 and 135. I know he just vacated his 140 title, so I guess he's going to be at 135 for a while, which I think he should be. I always said that Mikey should stay at 135. I think he should stay at 135. He's coming back down, and we're probably going to get a Lomachenko fight soon, which is cool. If Lomachenko is to win this fight. But Linares is the fighter that I wanted Mikey Garcia to fight at 135. You know? So, whoever got to him first, I wanted Jorge Linares to fight one of these guys, at 135. And I'm very impressed that Lomachenko is moving up in weight and fighting the best fighter there. He's not taking any tune-ups. He's going straight for the best fighter at that weight. And the most dangerous fighter in his career, in my opinion. By far. By far. And I think Loma's going to win this fight, but it's the fact that he's doing this type of fight. I think he's going to win. Okay? But Linares brings things to his game. Linares has things in his arsenal that's better than what these other guys that Loma's been facing. Better than the Mariagas and the Nicholas Walters. He's a more complete boxer than these other guys, as far as just technique and skill set alone. And then you have the fact that he's bigger, has a longer reach, and he has good hand speed. He has hand speed close to Gary Russell Jr., but he's not flashy like Gary Russell Jr., and he's a better boxer than Gary Russell Jr., period. He's even lighter on his feet than Gary Russell Jr. He's more proven than any other fighter on that resume of Lomachenko's. He's more proven than all of those guys. So if Lomachenko is able to go up in weight and beat Linares, right, in his 12th professional fight, that's pretty damn amazing. It's crazy when I hear people talk about this guy's resume not being that good or being overhyped. What fighter in a career in boxing history has fought this level of fighters in 11 fights? There's no other fighter has done it. I'm talking about in 11 fights. I'm not talking about overall career. Overall career, well, his career is not done. But overall, This guy's resume is insane. Even to fight a guy like a Mariaga is good within 10 fights. That's good. There's a lot of fighters that weren't fighting guys on Mariaga's level in 10 fights. Most fighters don't do that. Most of these pound for pound fighters that we have today didn't fight that level of opposition in 10 fights. So for him to beat a Nicholas Walters, to fight Salido, Russell, Mariaga, Sosa, Rigo, even though Rigo was small, for him to fight those guys in this amount of time, and now Jorge Linares is incredible. It's incredible. Only has one loss. It's pretty damn good, you know. And let's be real. If there was a rematch, we know that Lomachenko was going to wash this guy up. We never got the rematch. Salido didn't want the rematch. Let's be honest. So I like quality over quantity. I like guys. Rico was doing the same, close to the same. He fought Donaire, his 12th fight or something. He fought Donaire, who was a pound for pound fighter at that time. He fought Donaire and beat him. Who else you had fights? Anthony Joshua. This is why I praise him on this channel. Because look at who he's fought in 21 fights. But people say, his resume is not that good, whatever. 21 fights and he has already 3 belts. That's pretty good. He has Klitschko under his and Klitschko was a voluntary fight. That was a voluntary fight. Plus, he has 3 other belts. Well, I believe that fight was for a title. I think it was for a vacant title. Not sure. I think it was. All right, so I might be wrong there, but still, he has a good resume. Who else? I'm trying to think of people that had a lot of good wins under Beterbiev started out quick. Beterbiev started out like that. He's fighting former champions like Tavares Cloud and who else he fought? He fought Gabriel Campillo. I mean, guys, you fighting guys like that on your 7th, 8th fight, that's pretty damn good. Not too many fighters are doing it. So for a guy like Lomachenko to accomplish what he accomplished is pretty damn good. And I don't think he gets enough credit for it. I think sometimes, I think the networks sometimes purposely hype them because their fighter is under contract with the network. Of course they're gonna do it. But there's a lot of truth that comes to it. I mean, the guy, in my opinion, is definitely a top 5 pound for pound fighter, or maybe a top 3 at this point with me. I have to really go back and look, and think about who I consider pound for pound 5 right now. I think it's a toss-up because, we didn't get the Triple G rematch. We didn't get, guys retired recently, and his box is all over the place right now. But it's debatable, Now, more about this fight. I think, like I said, Linares is a complete boxer. Okay, this is the guy that I think out of all of the guys we've seen Lomachenko fight, I think this is a guy that's finally might try to start going to Lomachenko's body. And I think that's going to be Lomachenko's weakness, if any. Okay? I think if Linares really throws a good combination of a puncher, if he starts going to Lomachenko's body, that's going to make Loma respect his space a little bit more. And Lomachenko is not going to have the volume that we're used to seeing from him. I think that's what Linares needs to do. He is bigger. Okay? He is bigger, and he has solid power, and he has the punch and the hand speed. I think he's probably a better distant fighter, long range, mid range fighter even. But he can fight a little bit on his side, and he could bang. He could bang a little bit. I know guys are thinking that he lost. They're gonna look on BoxRec, see losses. Losses were years ago, and I think he's improved since he lost to DeMarco in that fight. In a fight that I thought he was winning clearly throughout the whole fight. He got stopped very late in that fight, and then he went on and fought this Sergio Thompson guy and lost very early in that fight. I think you coming off a loss, some fighters just need a break, and I think that's what happened in that fight. He didn't look like he was really into it that much. And he pretty much quit in that fight, in my opinion, against Sergio Thompson. But it's been years, and he's fought a lot of good opponents since then. And I think he's the best at 135. I mean, the best steady fighter at 135. Now it's a toss-up. You got guys coming down, you got guys moving up. So now we have to revisit, that conversation. But for the past years, he's been the best lightweight. Uh, and he's had a good run. He fought Luke Campbell recently, another southpaw, and he looked great against Luke. The thing is, Luke, who's tall himself, rangy himself, Lucas doesn't, even though he's a southpaw, he doesn't really fight anywhere similar to Lomachenko. The thing is, as good as Linares is, he's a traditional fighter. All the boxing basics is covered with him. But Lomachenko and his style always tends to make these boxers uncomfortable. Okay? He's an athlete. He's very, very fast, very unorthodox, great reflexes, extremely fast foot speed. Okay? And I think as far as people that are really good at probing and mixing their light punches with their heavy shots, kind of hiding their heavy shots, I think Lomachenko is one of the best that does it. And then when you are being overwhelmed by Lomachenko, he's great at frustrating you and making you not know where the punches are coming from, because he throws them from crazy angles at a high volume. So, as good as Linares is, how do we know that Linares is going to be able to handle a fighter like Lomachenko? There's no one on his resume that fights anywhere similar, So it's always going to draw questions going into the fight. The only thing is, and I feel like the body shots is a weakness for Loma, because Salido was the only one to really go to his body. And I know there was a lot of low blows in there, but Salido was the only one to really do it. Linares is a good body puncher. So I think that is his best bet. If he thinks that he can win the fight just staying on the outside and controlling it with his jab, I understand he has a longer reach and everything. That's good. I know he has great hand speed, but he needs more than that. He needs to go to Lomachenko's body, because if Lomachenko is able to come on the inside, all right, at will, all right, he's going to be moving to the side. He's going to be doing a lot of things to get in. If he's able to do it whenever he wants, the fight is over. The fight is over. That's why I think Linares needs to go to his body. I know it's easier said than done, because I'm sure some of these fighters go win with that game plan. But we haven't really seen it. We haven't seen it. But I think Lomachenko is just too good. For me to pick against him, like I've said in one of my other recent videos, when it comes to fighters from 140 down, I think Lomachenko is the best. When we're talking about skill set, even including Mikey Garcia. The only thing is, when does weight and size become a factor? At some point, it could. It could be a factor in this fight. It could be a factor if Loma is to win and fight Mikey Garcia. It could be a factor in that fight. Because these guys, I think Lomachenko is more talented than them, both Linares and Mikey Garcia. But how much more talented is he? When is size going to come into play? And I know Lomachenko fought as a lightweight in the amateurs and everything. So he's fought at that weight. But I'm saying, as a professional, he hasn't been fighting lightweights on this level. For him, for a first lightweight fight, he didn't tune up. You're going up in weight and you're going up in talent. Mariaga, Sosa, those guys at 130 that he beat, are just not on this level. They're not on this level. They're not on this level. And Rigo is a talent, but he was inactive. He was way too small. He shouldn't have been fighting at 130 in the first place. That was a ridiculous matchup. I still can't believe that fight actually happened at 130 at that. But this is going to be Lomachenko's test. And I think for the people that don't respect him, if he is to win this fight and look impressive doing, if he is to stop Jorge Linares, that's pretty damn good, man. I mean, I know some people might try to downplay that shit, but you stop Linares on your 12th professional fight, I think that would be more impressive than, Rigo outboxing Nair the way he did back when he did it. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I don't hold Donaire at the same standard that a lot of other fans did back at that time. I think this Linares fight is a more difficult challenge than Donaire was back then. That's just my personal opinion, but that can be debated. All right. Anyway, I think Lomachenko's gonna win this fight by points. All right. I know it's all about up here with Linares. I don't want to completely ignore the fact that he's been stopped before. All right, but he got stopped by punchers. So he got stopped by punchers. I think he could get dropped and get overwhelmed, but I think Linares is just better than these other guys, man, and he's bigger. So I see Lomachenko winning. It's just how good is the win gonna look, in my opinion? Is it gonna be a struggle? Is it gonna be a struggle? If this is gonna be a debatable win, or you never know. And I think this is I'm gonna end this with this one thing, this last thing. When you go up and you start fighting better fighters, some of your weaknesses start to get exposed. The better fighters you start to fight, and we've seen that with Triple G now. We see that with Triple G now. So in the Kell Brook fight, you got to understand at 160, once upon a time, Triple G used to be what Errol Spence is right now. People will never admit to it, and it's funny when I hear people, with their agendas and stuff. But Triple G was Errol Spence at 160 once upon a time. And there was only one guy calling him out, and that was a guy at 154, Arizona Lara. But at 160, nobody want those parts. They didn't want no problems with Triple G. They didn't want to fight him. And it wasn't until he fought a smaller guy, a welterweight, that everybody started wanting to fight him. Andre Ward too. Andre Ward wanted to fight him, but that was a whole weight issue. Andre Ward was a bigger guy. He was on 168 at the time. But at 160, nobody wanted to fight this dude. And it took Kell Brook fight for people to start really calling out this guy. And then he fought Danny Jacobs, who was huge in that fight. All right? He didn't even do the same day weigh-in. Lost his opportunity to fight for the title. Had a tough fight with him. Very, very close fight. Triple G struggled against him. Triple G struggled against Canelo a little bit. And now everybody's calling him out. Everybody wants to fight him now. Now everybody wants to be the first to do it. And I think with Lomachenko, this could be that fight. This could be that fight. This could be the fight where people are going to be saying, I don't know. I think Loma could win, or Loma won, but some things might be exposed, some weak points, because Salido happened a while ago now. So people are kind of over that, But this could be that fight. This could be that fight. This could be that fight. And after this fight, it could be one of those, if Loma gets to win, people are going to be looking at him like, Guys going to be more willing to fight him. Guys like Tank Davis who don't want to fight him. And other fighters that don't want to fight him. People don't really want to fight this guy. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you hit subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.